We are here with Ronnie from Right Choice Happenings Realty. You have been with Right Choice now for 2 years and...
A bit. It'll be 3 in the spring.
3 in the spring, so let's call it 2.5 years. You started in 2021.
Uno. Yep.
So you started here at Right Choice when the market was on fire, and that's not how it is now.
Correct.
Before we talk about the market, I want to talk about your experiences here at Right Choice.
Okay.
I want to start with that because this will be fun because we actually have never done a podcast together.
I've never done a podcast.
Okay. I don't even know if this will be a full podcast because we'll keep it short, but I want to just I would like for us to get in here more often, but let's start by doing one and then we can do more. But I think a great thing to start with is talking to you about Right Choice a little bit. I'm going to even maybe ask you some things I've never asked you before.
Ooh. Oh, no. Okay.
And just tell it how it is. I want to start just with how you like working here.
It's good. No, it's definitely, I don't know if it's what I thought it was going to be, but I also didn't come in with any true expectations because that was how I felt like I needed to go into it, especially like knowing Kev, knowing that he's also in real estate and was here and all of this. What I thought real estate was before getting into it is not exactly what you think it is. And I think that's kind of like universal statement unless you know somebody in real estate.
Right.
So no, it's good. It's definitely helped me grow. Even go back, we've talked about this, but my mom didn't really even want me getting into real estate. She wasn't sure if even this was the right move. And now all the time she always says, she's like, oh my God, Right Choice is the best thing you ever did. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, ma.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. So just to back it up a little bit too, because you are dating Kevin Murphy, who also works here.
Uh-huh.
You two just moved in together. You bought a place together.
Yep.
Move-in property/investment, which is pretty cool. To back it up even more, before buying that property, when Kev was working here, I did not want you to work here.
I didn't want to work here either.
Yeah, we had mutual feelings. When Kev told me he had a girlfriend getting into real estate, I said, that's great. She can work somewhere else. But then when we met, I liked you.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, that sucks for me because now I want you to work here. And then we had to talk about you working here. And we had to sit down, the three of us, to talk about what that would look like. And to my surprise, you guys are still together this much longer.
Mine too. No.
I know, because I had the conversation with you guys. When you guys break up, what's it going to be like? And you guys have not broken up, and you've now moved in together, and I'll be officiating your wedding once you guys decide to do that.
Yeah. Well, even like to back it up more too, like Kev and I, we each had to have our own conversation about it too.
Yeah.
Because even on my end, I didn't know if I wanted to work here or not. But aside from that, just if I was Kevin, I had my partner coming into my own workspace too. Like I don't know how I would have felt with that too. So we had a very long conversation about, is this okay even for you? Is this going to work out for us? Real estate, all of this, like Right Choice aside, like, is this going to ruin what we're doing? And are you going to be okay with it? And so we had to talk a lot about it to make sure we were both on the same page. And yet, even to my surprise, it's definitely better than I thought it was going to be. It's so tight quarters.
So far, so good.
Yeah. A lot of people say I could never work with my spouse. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not even that we really even work together. We're just like in the same era and we talk about things together. And yeah, sometimes we're working with the same people, but it's very rare. And so it's almost more like an even soundboard than anything.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a pretty good setup because we're not all of us, not you guys are together 24/7.
Yeah.
We do work for the same company. Yeah. We do have some of the same things we work on, but we're not always, we're out in the streets doing what we got to do. Yeah.
Sometimes you're like, oh, did you talk to Kev about this? I'm like, I haven't seen him. You've talked to him probably before I have.
Yeah, exactly. We got the same home bases, but we're not always at home base.
Yeah, exactly.
Back to working at Right Choice.
Yep.
So been 2.5 years. Yeah. And that's interesting that you said that about your mom being hesitant at first and now how she likes it because there's definitely been some changes and growth with you over the time. What are some of the things that come to mind when I ask you what you've learned here?
Everything.
Lots.
Literally everything, right? Because from our initial conversations, it was kind of like come in with nothing, right? Like you're like, let me teach you everything. So I was like, okay. Yeah. So you've literally taught me everything, even to what I should be focused on, to what's important, to how to scale. everything. And I'm not perfect with anything. None of us
Neither am I.
are, right?
No, we're learning together.
Yeah, and I know my like downfalls currently and all of that, but like it's been literally everything to how I should run my day to then maybe being like, okay, maybe I don't want to be Joe and work out to 3 p.m., but
Totally.
how to work it in,
Totally.
right? And what days to decide things are more important and how to reschedule things too. But it's, yeah, you've literally taught me everything. I can't even narrow it down.
Well, Ronnie, you've gone through a lot of growth since you've been
Yeah.
here. Because you came in here smart, young, energetic,
Yeah.
caring
Yep.
girl. Naive, yeah.
About certain things, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. But it's nice to see a lot of the growth because it's like I've seen we've talked about it throughout the way, but we haven't done it through a podcast, but just growth points where it's like, wow, Ronnie, looking back, it's nice to see all of these improvements you've made. And yeah, just being new, sometimes you, even with my help or Kev or anybody, you make some mistakes like we all do. But what I really like is that you don't make a lot of the same mistakes after you learn it, because that's tough from a mentoring perspective when you're coaching somebody. And like there's a lot to learn in real estate. Like we know we still got a long way to go with a lot of things. I'm still not there myself, but when we make the same mistakes over and over, it makes it hard to move forward. And you're pretty good at, once you grasp something, that you don't have any relapses, which is nice.
I try.
Yeah. Well, you're trying good. You're trying good.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's got to be something that sticks out, some things that you've learned.
I can name off a few, or even just like the caring of the people, right? Like naturally I do care for people, but you've really showed how important it is in that, and from different job perspectives, it's like you might care for somebody in the moment that you're serving them, right? Like even if going back to when I worked at Starbucks, yeah, I cared to make that person's coffee right because like I knew that was a moment in time, but like it didn't go any further than that. Where what you've really showed is like if you care for somebody more than that, like it really shows off in your business too. And the other people who you're working with really see that. And not that I wasn't planning on doing that or anything, but it just, it really can help with everything, and people can see that. And it goes more than just, the real estate transaction in itself.
Yeah. It's the foundation of right choice. We've talked about it before, that how important it is to put everybody we're working with first. Yeah. And like, that's something that when you came here, that's something I can't teach anybody.
Yeah.
Now we can learn how to build on how much we care for somebody and how we can do everything that's best for them. But you can't teach somebody to care for other people. So like that's something that is key that you have within you that I can't teach anybody.
Yeah.
Can't.
No.
It's impossible. Sometimes I've tried to do it, but it can't be done. Yeah. What else? What are some, I know putting you on the spot. And there's a lot of things, but just things that stick out to you with that, because like I know we've learned a lot of stuff together. I've been doing all the best I can to share everything. One of the things I'm not sure anybody knows or not, but people that work here, I open the book of everything. Like I even talk about to people, to you guys, to other people, when I talk about my business model, I don't know how good of a business model it is, because you guys that embrace it, at one point you can make me obsolete.
Yep.
And
Bye, Joe.
It was nice knowing you. Yeah, but the book is open of everything.
Yeah.
I don't hold that back anything. I show you guys everything.
Yeah.
And how I was able to build to where I am now, where I'm going, and how it's all done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, another thing, but to kind of put on a broad scale, is I want to say like kind of like no BS. And what I mean in that even is like pricing on somebody's home or showing them through it. It's like we're not lying to get them there or this or that, right? Like we're putting proof behind like things that we talk about or experiences or situations. Like I'm not just throwing a number out of a hat for certain things. It's like, okay, I think this because XYZ, right? I'm not opening the book too much, but
yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
But it's the truth behind it, which also goes hand in hand with the caring too, right? Like we care, so we're not lying to you. We're not giving you, just again for our sake, right? We're not
just to get
smoke.
your business. Yeah, totally.
Which that can go with everything that we're learning too. But
do you feel, because looking back, I was thinking about this when you first interviewed here, and one of the things I remember telling you that I tell other people is that by me opening up my playbook and doing everything I can one-on-one, is that my goal with you and everybody that works here is to make you the best realtor possible, which translates into the best business person as possible. Try my best. Even I'm trying to be the best human I am possible outside of that, with our relationships, our family, everything, and just to win at life. Like that's like, it's to me, it's not just a brokerage. It's like trying to grow ourselves to being the best we can be. I don't know if you feel that way or not, but that's.
No, absolutely. And even in that, like, it's health wise too. Like, I know we've all like kind of even done different diets since being here too, right? Like, and we all talk about why we see it certain ways or this, right? Like, what was it? You were doing completely plant-based for not completely, but like 99%, right? Minus like pizza or maybe going out to eat, right? Was plant-based. And we all talk about these things and like why we think it's healthier, better, or this and that. And we're not afraid to kind of even argue each other about it too. But the whole goal is, to be better. Yeah. Also with having like the Peloton and the workout equipment here too, right? It's again, to be better. But we always don't agree on the exact route, but we all know that there is a route that we should be on, and that, we want to, it all translates, like being healthier, does give you better business. And this is something, like, I just finished a year of personal training too. Right. And that was something that Ruzba said from the beginning. He's like, this will like help you in your business. And so he always says, he's like, so is your business better? I'm like, well, right now, actually it's slow. And he's like, well, that's not my fault. But we joke about that. He's like, but if you're more confident in yourself too, he's like, that's going to show in your business. He's like, you're going to be proud to just show up every day. And you're going to be able to do more. And I think that's even something we all know and we all talk about and try to do too.
Yeah. I'm glad that we all have our own focuses on health and it's all part of our routines, and we all definitely talk about it. Yeah. And bust each other's balls when we're slacking and whatnot.
Joe dropped off 3 pizzas to me this weekend.
You're welcome.
So I don't know how much he's actually trying to help.
Well, it's one of the perks of being at Right Choice with the pizza guy. But
you get your balls busted as you're getting fat from the free pizza.
Yes, that sounds about right. I think a good pivot, talking a little bit, about the state of the market too. You just mentioned it a little bit, how it is a little bit slower now. And from the time you started, when you started here, what was the market like 2.5 years ago?
Oh my God, we did like a deal my first week or something crazy. We were just like, deals. They were like popping off. And now I'm like, deal?
No,
where?
Where's the deals? I think we had 6 accepted offers in your first 6 weeks.
Yeah, something like that.
I think we were going 6 for 6. The market was crazy. Yeah. Prices were increasing quickly.
Which was good. Learned really quickly.
Really quickly.
Too quick almost, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to say too quick, but it was hard to like keep up and understand all the process, I think. So I think you had to be there longer to help me through it because it was going so quickly when you're experiencing so many things, but without actually like being able to sit down and I guess kind of absorb it more, right? Yeah. Or explain it or go into depth because we just didn't have the time. So you were just like, take my hand. We're going. And I'm like, okay.
Come on this ride here.
I'm here.
We're in 5th gear. Let's go. I know it's a lot different. The training experience is a lot different with Bion now versus when I was working directly with you so much. Because now with Bion, he's been here a couple months. Yeah. And we've only put a lease deal together. Yeah. Not even a sale, which was good still because the process of putting a lease together is very similar to a purchase. It's almost the same thing. It's just somebody ends up renting the property instead of buying it. So there is no transfer of title or lawyers needed. Yeah. But as far as everything else, it's the process is the same. You help people with what they're looking for. You go look at places, you negotiate a deal, you put a deal together, they move in. But it's interesting because he's having more time. I've been able to spend more time with him on prospecting and drumming up business, and we've been able to work on that a little bit more. Where when you started, that it was like, no, we have a lot of things to get done right now.
People are buying houses. Here they are. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But now the state of the market now, what do you see it currently as the state of the market? Yeah, that's something we can definitely talk about.
I think there's a few factors involved in all of it, which there always are, but big thing right now is interest rates, obviously. Prices are about where were at about 2 years ago, but interest rates are very different than they were 2 years ago. So if someone who bought 2 years ago is technically in a better position, unless they didn't lock into the rate, then they're kind of in the same pickle as everybody else is right now. They just maybe didn't plan for that when they bought. end of the summer. It's also right now back to school too, right? So I think August we see a bit more dip, and I think we'll pick up again in September a little bit. I think maybe not much, but it also depends on what's coming out with the interest rate. Like
Supposed to be an
always,
announcement this week or
yeah,
next
I
week.
think so. And
Yeah.
like always, someone says it's gonna stay, someone says it's gonna go up, and so it just depends on who you want to listen to. If you just want to wait to and actually find out and see what happens, but so there's just less people moving for all these reasons, right? If they can't afford it, but people are still moving if they have to, right? Or just want to even, right? But there's definitely less of a buzz for people to be doing it, mostly because the interest rates and I mean, yeah, prices have gone down. So it's not really the prices you can complain about, but you can complain about everything.
True that. True that. How are you finding it with the buyers that are looking at houses? Are they hesitant to be buying right now? Are they like what the people you're directly working with? Not that you have to say any of
Yeah.
the names or anything, but like
Yeah.
what are their feelings?
Well, the past few buyers, they were buying because they had a reason to buy, you know, whether it was divorce, moving on or whatever. So it wasn't like oh, maybe like we should move because XYZ, or maybe I'll get into the market. They were like, no, I'm buying a house. So they were really motivated to buy something. The biggest thing was just finding something that they wanted in their price points. Some were just like, no, I'm buying something within the next like 3 weeks. So we're going to find something. Just which one is it going to be? And am I going to be happy with the price? Where some people were like, I have a little bit more flexible time frame, but I still want to be in by, you know, mid-September. So I have some time, but I don't have to if I don't find something right. So the people I worked with, like, yeah, they were a little more motivated than I think
Right.
someone who's just like, don't have to,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is good because they didn't complain too much about interest rates or prices. I mean, it was still, they wish it was better, but they're like, this is where we're at, so let's find what we can. And
Right. Because what I'm seeing from my perspective and the people I talk to too is with how volatile things are with, yes, number one, interest rates have been going up a ton over the past year and a half since they started raising it. And we've been seeing prices go up and down, including, you just ran the numbers, August prices were what?
5% down.
5% down in 1 month, which is a big dip in 1 month. Or if it would have been up, that's a big tick. Because what I tell everybody, we've talked about it probably 10,000 times, is when I started in real estate 10 years ago, the average price in Canada would go up by 3% a year. That's a whole year. Now 5% in a month moving in one direction after having several months before up and down. That's volatility. So to me, that's just causing a lot of uncertainty with buyers. Because when it's volatile, people are unsure what to do. And I even tell people, like, I don't blame people for not knowing what to do, because even giving people advice on what to do, it's challenging because everything is case by case. There's not a blanket statement we can tell anybody on exactly what to do. It's all going to be dependent, like you said, on their situations. Somebody needs to buy, like, I'm pretty sure you had somebody that was pretty interesting where they had a rate locked.
Yeah.
Where if they didn't buy by a certain point, they would have been priced out of the market.
Yeah.
Right. Which is interesting. And like, I think that's very important for people to understand when they get a pre-approval. Because when you get a pre-approval, you lock in a rate, I think, for 3 months or so.
Depending too if you're on the A or B side as well.
Right. Right. There's different terms and conditions apply, asterisks.
Talk to your mortgage broker.
Yes. But that's something important when rates are like that. Like, especially if they're announcing it right now, anybody looking to get a pre-approval, do it right now. Because if you do, you're going to lock in at today's rate, even if it goes up.
And if it goes down, you get the new rate.
You do not lose from locking in a rate, which is something nice. I don't know how well everybody knows that, but hopefully if anybody listened this long, they can realize that whether they work with us or not, that's a great thing.
I would say like the only way it could hurt you, and I mean even hurt in like the slightest way, is if you don't know if you're going to be buying maybe in 3 or 4 months and like rates are going to go up, and then you lock in for 3 months, then you end up buying in that 4 month, where if you just locked in a month later, you would have still had a lower rate than later. But that's so like, you have to really know what it is that you're like, when you're planning on buying, if you're kind of looking into that. If you're like looking about it now, you might as well now, but we can always talk about that more.
You can always get into that detail more based on your situation. I think this was a good test of running a podcast. Unless, let's call this I don't even know, the podcast. How long do you think this would have to be considered an actual podcast? I don't know if 20 minutes.
I don't know if there's a definition on it. I feel like podcast is just, 2 people recording, talking, right? I think that is That is podcast, and as soon as you put it up on platforms, it becomes podcast.
So, excuse me, when I think about us doing more of these, whatever you want to call them, podcasts or
Conversations,
short
chit
combos,
chats.
I think there's a whole bunch of different things we could talk about. We could pick state of the market. We could talk about something that we've learned. Like we talk often about biggest takeaways. I'm not sure. We can figure out what we'll talk about more, but there's a lot of things that you're experiencing on the front line that we can share with people to help educate them as best as possible. We kind of just talked about a smorgasbord of a few things here, but
Sprinkle of everything.
yeah, but I think it'd be good if we talked from your perspective on how anybody that listens, how they can learn about the buying process and everything, because yeah, it's definitely challenging waters. And I think that if we spend some time in here just talking about it, we can come up with different things to talk about. We didn't really plan this out. I've just kept saying to you, I want to get in here with you and we'll
So
talk.
we're here.
Yeah. But I think that's something that we can do to try and add value to anybody that wants to listen, because I think it's good to share it from different people's perspectives. Like when I get Kevin here, he deals more on the selling side and even buying side. Everybody's got different perspectives, but we can help with anybody that actually takes the time because yeah, with it being so challenging, anything we can share with people, whether they work with us or not, although we love people that work with us, if we can still, we can still help these people navigate the treacherous waters of real estate, because it is.
Yeah, well, even like Kevin and I have different opinions on things too, right?
Yeah,
like
for
if
sure.
he was me, he would have sold the other property I have already, where I'm keeping it, right?
Yeah.
So like everyone's like opinions, like they have them for their own reasons or their own, like thoughts behind it, and we would each do something different. So
That's interesting. I'm surprised he would encourage a sale on that one. I like how you're holding.
yeah, well, he would tell me to sell and buy something else, but I'm like, I'm spending more money doing that, so it don't make no sense right now.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Kev does have different perspectives.
Yes. Yeah.
But, okay. Yeah, I think this was a good starter.
Peace out, Joe.
Peace.